Hi, David Dillner with Things to Know, and this week we're in the El Dorado Fire Department because this week is Fire Prevention Week, so I thought we'd take a moment to talk to Fire Chief Joe Haag and kind of learn a little bit more about the El Dorado Fire Department. Joe, first question is, why do we celebrate or why do we commemorate Fire Prevention Week this week?
Fire Prevention Week falls on the anniversary of the Great Chicago Fire. It was one of the biggest fires causing the most property damage in the United States.
And what year did that happen?
Oh, it was in the 1800s. I don't know the exact date.
Wow, so that's pretty remarkable. And so as a result of that fire, many cities throughout the country probably started to build the capacity of the fire department. Can you talk a little bit about our capacity at the El Dorado Fire Department?
The El Dorado Fire Department employs 15 full-time firefighters on duty. Those are spread out over 3 shifts, and they staff 2 different stations. We also utilize Butler County Fire Science students to supplement our crews, as well as some volunteers. As a goal, we respond to structure fires, wildland fires, vehicle fires. We respond to hazmat calls, emergency medical calls, and we set a goal of about 5 minutes to get from the time that we get in the truck to be on scene within anywhere in our district.
So that's quite an array of different calls that you guys can respond to. I don't think the public may know this, but what type of call is your most, the one you respond to the most?
Most of our calls, by probably about 60%, fall within the emergency medical realm, where we respond to and assist with the ambulance to provide basic life support services.
So why is that? I mean, most fire departments are known for fire, but now they're kind of shifting to the medical services response.
Well, it falls back to Fire Prevention Week. We just have gone to the point that we do such a good job on prevention that we have a low occurrence of fires. We still have the severity of fires can still be there, but we have a lower occurrence because of our fire prevention efforts and education with children, our code enforcement, and so our focus is switched to helping with EMS. Due to our aging population, we receive a lot of calls to help people get up or to help them get to medical assistance at a healthcare facility.
Okay, so medical services seem to be an ever-increasing role in the fire department, but let's now talk, since it is Fire Prevention Week, about your actual fire capabilities. So behind us is our hazmat, which isn't actually used for fire protection per se, but talk to us a little bit about the engines and apparatuses that we do have.
Well, we're very fortunate in El Dorado to have a great water supply, and with our apparatus, we staff 2 engines and what we call a ladder company. A ladder company is stationed out of Station 2. It is has a 100-foot aerial platform and can provide up to 2,000 gallons a minute per water for fire suppression. We utilize these for large commercial structures or large residential structures where we need a large volume of water in order to control it. Normally first in within the city would be an engine. Both of our engines are capable of providing 1,500 gallons per minute, and those are staffed by 2 or 3 firefighters.
And speaking of engines, the city is scheduled to get a new engine here soon. Do you have any updates on that?
I was in contact with them the other day, and we began progressing in the design phase of the engine. They haven't given me a firm date yet, but we're expecting it probably sometime middle to end of 2024.
And when we get that new engine, what will that do to the fleet?
As of right now, our reserve apparatus is a 1993 Pierce Quint. Regulations say that we should either have the apparatus completely refurbished or replaced after 20 years of service. So what we'll do is we'll retire that apparatus and allow us to shift some around, and then that new engine will be front line, so it'll be first response.
So that's great, keeping the fleet up to date and making sure that we have not only vehicles that can move out, but also that we have vehicles that can be in reserve. Talk a little bit about the training requirements necessary to be a firefighter.
Well, within the first year of hiring on with the city of El Dorado, we required that you have an emergency medical technician, and then we put them through an array of Well, it's recognized to the state as Firefighter 1. This is basic firefighting where they learn to fight the wide range of different structure fires, how kind of the fire department operates. And the eventual goal is, within the first couple of years, they are certified through Kansas Fire and Rescue Training, Firefighter 1 and Firefighter 2.
Roughly how many fire calls do you guys get per year?
Approximately probably 275 to 300 actual fire calls a year. A bulk of those are actually wildland fires, with approximately 30 to 40 a year as actual structure fires.
Okay, and then compare that to medical calls.
I believe last year for medical calls we ran between 11 and 1,200 medical calls. So.
Okay, and then, I mean, since we're staying in front of the hazmat vehicle, how many hazmat calls have you guys got?
Hazmat is a very rare occurring thing. Most of our hazmat calls deal with crude oil response, leaks out in the oil field, and we average probably less than 10 of those a year that are actual hazmat calls.
Okay. Well, since this is Fire Prevention Week, do you have any brief tips that someone might exercise to prevent fires at their house or business?
The biggest thing that I recommend is know what to do when there's a fire. Get with your family, have practice your fire drills, and have a safe meeting place where when you practice these drills, this is a place we go out and we meet with all of our family members and make sure everybody got out okay. Probably the next most important thing is to make sure that we know how to operate our telephones and call 911. Getting the fire department started as soon as possible will get us there the quickest possible and allow us to help you the soonest.
So there you go, some quick tips on fire prevention. And Joe, I want to thank you for taking the time to explain some of the fire department's capabilities. This has been very informative, and I hope the public really gets something out of this in terms of our ability to respond to not only fire calls, but medical calls and other emergencies in our community. So with that, those are all the things that we have on Things to Know. Everybody have a safe weekend, and we'll see you next week.